Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and especially have a lot more fun. I'm your host, founder of Contractor Staffing Source, Paul Sanneman, and we help contractors build great teams. I have Jade Flogerzi with me today, and she's with Clever Punch Marketing. So, Jade, tell me why people should listen to you about marketing. What's your history? What's your background? What's your story?
Sure. I've been working as an expert in marketing for about 9 years now. So I got my start working at a winery. I was the first person hired to develop, build, plant a vineyard, hire winemakers, and one of those hats was wearing marketing. And from there, I went to work for a digital agency. I was their creative director for a year. And then with that experience, I was motivated enough to start my own business. So Clever Punch just turned 5 this January.
Wow. And so how'd you go with the name Clever Punch? I'm just curious, where did that come from?
Yeah, if any business owner understands, naming a business is hard. Naming a business is easy. Finding a name that's not taken is really difficult. So most people just go with their last name. A lot of people do their initials. That all kind of blends in. It's not very, easy to recognize. I wanted to come up with something that was impactful, memorable, not taken. I could trademark it.
The not taken part is hard, especially if you go to Google, right? And you put names
Really
in, .coms are all gone, right?
Yeah. And I learned a couple tips about naming businesses that were helpful. One was that the sound is the most memorable.
Okay.
So Clever Punch. If I could get that sound in there, that's a bonus. And I also learned that combining two arbitrary words, two words that aren't related, is going to give you more options than trying to just find one single word for your business name that is taken, like ocean construction. That's going to be here than finding tide and moon construction. So that narrowed it down. I love the word clever. My sister-in-law always said I was a clever girl. I love the meaning behind it. I think for me, clever is not just about being intelligent. It's about being tenacious. It's about finding your way around the rules, the loopholes. And punch, I love that it has double meaning. So to me, it's like drinking the Kool-Aid. Like marketing is very much about.
You're a marketing person. You should have a good name, right? The branding, the whole thing.
Absolutely. And I love the double meaning. So it could be like that. It could also be like a punch, like an impactful, forceful movement, which you hope your marketing does for you too.
That isn't like drink the Kool-Aid, right?
It could be. It's whatever you want it to be.
That's right, because that's punch also in a way, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, I've talked to a lot of marketing companies, and the audience listening to this are contractors and basically the construction industry. And they're pretty small. They're all between $1 million and probably 25, 30 million. And marketing has become, how do you want to put this? It isn't everybody's favorite subject because people have spent money on it. It hasn't worked. You get all these stories. I tried it for 3 years. I spent all this money, nothing happened. And then some people are saying, well, build brand. Other people saying, no, screw the brand. Just make sure you get pay-per-click and get the instant results. And some people say, you get brand, paint your trucks, make sure you're like when you start within 5 miles of your house. It's a lot of confusion. All right. So I was looking at your website. You seem to have a more simpler approach. So I guess the question is going out, one, how much did you spend on marketing? I've heard everything between 3% and 15%. Do you have any comments on what kind of company should spend what kind of money on marketing? What makes sense?
I do. My first tip would be don't spend any money on marketing if your business is brand new. So from the first, from launching it until I would say a minimum of 3 years, if not 5, do not go hire a marketing person. So somebody that tells you need to invest in your branding, you need to invest in your website. Absolutely not. You need to be boots on the ground, getting projects and getting cash flow before you should designate any of that money towards marketing. What I believe is a good time to invest in your marketing is when you've established your business, you've started to build a team, and the cash flow is coming in, the projects are coming in, and now you need to automate your networking, your touches, your relationships. You need to automate that effort to keep bringing in business where it doesn't have to be you as the face for every single connection. And hire a marketing person when you start getting so busy that your team is expanding and you want to delegate and get that work off your plate. That's the time that it makes sense. As far as how much you should spend, it depends if you want to maintain where you're currently at. In that case, you can easily accomplish what you need to do within $1,500, $2,000 a month. You can have a very professional, what we call professional presence, so that if somebody's interested in working with you and they go look you up online, they see your signs around town, whatever they see about you looks good, it converts them to want to work with you. So that price can accomplish kind of maintaining. If you want to get aggressive and you want to blow things up and bring in as much revenue and projects as possible, then you probably want to double or even triple that to start taking advantage of a lot of services that are more aggressive and go after getting new leads, new contacts, new relationships that you haven't formed yet.
Okay, now I've heard anywhere from 2 to 15%. How do you they also split the marketing? Like some people say it's all about brand, make until you have the right trucks and the right signs and you're like a legend within 5 miles of your radius. Don't spend a bunch of money paying for clicks. Other people say, no, go to Google, pay-per-click. There's other thing. Google has license or something, what they call those people that are sponsored by Google. And, pay for the leads because it's definitely worth it. Do you have any opinion on how to split that?
I do. So much of it is common sense. I mean, there's a lot of noise when it comes to marketing. There's a lot of people out there that can make you feel really bad about what you're doing or not doing. So much of this is just bare bones. Who are you? What's your message? What is your business? Why are you good at what you do? Why should people hire you? That's your message. Who are you trying to get in front of? And just connecting those two dots. So to answer your question about which order to do things, you absolutely have to have things looking at least decent before you point clicks. Because if you spend a budget pointing clicks towards your website or towards anything, landing page, Facebook page, whatever, and it looks like garbage, you're literally flushing money down the toilet. And we all know that from our own experience. You click on something, right, you don't like what you see, you're out of there. You're not going down the rabbit hole further. So if you're going to kind of invest in marketing and you're at that place that I explained earlier with your business, you don't have to go over the top, but things need to look decent before you invest money into clicks, leading back to that. And also, so far, we're talking a lot about digital marketing, but there's so many other things, so many old school techniques that still work in the construction industry that I think are overlooked or people think don't work anymore, but they absolutely do.
Well, I was talking about it. He said that Google is getting smarter, right? I mean, AI is becoming smarter. So literally, from what I understand, it tells you it knows how long you answer the phone. Like if you're the fourth guy down, you don't answer the phone, then that's against you. If people go to your website and don't stay there, that's against you. If your Google reviews aren't good, that's against you. If you aren't a member of the local Chamber of Commerce and your kids don't play basketball, and it's like the spy, and it's getting much better at that stuff, right? So there's privacy's gone, forget that. But now, since it's getting so smart, I think its intent is good. It wants to connect the right person to the right client, but it's, how fast you answer your phone, how long people stay on your website, how many reviews you've got, whether you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, whether you support finding out all that stuff these days. And do you have trucks running around town? I guess I can't see those yet. Of course, my phone with the new ChatGPT can actually talk to me and look around the room, which is really bizarre. How does this, where do you draw the line and how do you build that footprint? How do you become like the guy or the lady, whatever? I was talking to somebody there. It's most people, if you say, name a brand name, name a restaurant, they can tell you, name a good place to shop, name a place to buy, clothes or dresses. If you say, give me a good plumbing contractor, they have no clue, right? Mm-hmm. Because people don't understand the brand thing. And
Yeah, it also, I mean, you're absolutely right. But another factor that plays into that is how often you need that service. You know, when we're talking about general contractors, how often do you hire a general contractor? Some people never, they're never a homeowner. Some people once in their life, other people maybe a handful of times. So it makes sense that a contractor or a tradesperson is not going to be the first thing that you think of because it's, you know, you're not engaging with them every single day. But as far as back to your point earlier about just trying to keep up with all this nonsense of, like you said, Google, and they're tracking you and they're keeping track of this, and now you got to watch this and now you got to watch that. What we've found is just keep it simple. You're absolutely right that not only Google, but these other platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, as soon as you think you have a hack or you have some silver bullet and you're going to find your way, find a loophole for getting more business and better marketing, the platform is going to outrace you every single time. And all the time and energy and money that you spent trying to find that loophole around is now irrelevant. So we've found the old school the old school ways work. We like to say old school with modern tools. It's like keep doing what worked in the past, but you know, you can use technology to help you. So for example, like you said, reviews, how long people spend on your website. Don't do all this shortcuts. They're going to hurt you in the long run. Like if you're going to build a website, have the information on there that people want to find when they're looking at you. Don't build all these crazy back end pages and keywords are secretly hidden into the text and all this banana stuff. Make a good website when your homeowner, your potential client is thinking about this serious decision of hiring a contractor and they pull up your website. They want to see who you are. They want to see pictures of your team. They want to know who's going to be in their house. They want to see work that you've done. It's like building this trust. So just do a good website that's straightforward. Make sure your phone number's on there, like the basics. And like you said, that's going to lead to people being on the website for longer. And all of those kind of natural analytics that Google's looking for, they're going to happen naturally. And they're going to reward your website because of them. And like you said, that you're going to get boosted up higher in the search results.
so what if you're in your whatever business you're in, you're a plumbing contractor, whatever, remodeling contractor, and you go to the front page of Google and you're not there? I mean, you're so far down that it doesn't matter. Is that like death? I mean, do you have to be in the first 4 or 5 or it doesn't count? I mean, how does that actually work? Because you hear all kinds of different stories.
Yeah, it depends on your industry. General contractor, it is not death because typically somebody's going to work with you because they heard about you from someone else. And when they go look you up, everything that you have supporting you online is going to push them closer to trusting you and choosing you over the other contracts that they got. So general contractor, it's not death. Trades, it just depends how competitive it is, like, and what the trade is. Plumber, roofing, you know, these kind of trades that are more emergency type services. Yeah, it probably is death if you're not at the top because people don't care who you are, they just care how fast you can get to their house.
Right.
So it depends on the industry.
Okay. So as you work with a client, do you have a strategy on, how to build brand, how to wait? I mean, let's say I'm a remodeling contractor. I do $2 million a year and I've been spending, pick a number, 50,000 on marketing, and I can't see it doing any good. And I question my sanity. Am I just wasting $50,000? Look where my clients come from. And some from past clients, some from they saw my truck. Some people, I go, well, why am I spending the $50,000? I mean, I'm sure you've heard that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes sense. Like we want to feel good about the money that we're spending. We're all kind of dollars and cents at the end of the day. You're not going to like this answer, but it's the truth. The problem with marketing is it's not black and white. It's fluffy, you know? And we all make the reason is because it's the psychology of buying something. We all make purchases in our life, whether it's choosing a general contractor or anything else, what we're going to eat, what we're going to wear. And there's psychology behind these purchases, and a lot of it is subconscious. So you're absolutely right. I wish that I could come on here and say, we've worked with over 100 clients in the industries. We work with clients ongoing, month after month. We have great retention. I wish I could come on here and say, we've got the data to prove it's this marketing channel that does the trick. But the problem is when it comes to making a decision, you can't remember why you chose to work with that person. And it's because if you're doing it right, if you're doing your marketing right, there's little touch points all along the way that move you closer to making that decision. And I know that for a fact because I own a business. I spend money on marketing. I'm investing in all kinds of different channels and tactics all the time. We just reviewed last month where our clients are coming from. Are they coming from Google? Are they referrals? Is it LinkedIn? Is it social media? And when I go look at people's responses, how did you hear about us? They don't even know. They say, I know for a fact that I found them through whatever, a networking group, but they write in the answer, Google search. No, you didn't. I met you at the
Right.
networking group. So we
Right.
can't even answer why we decided to work with someone. But what we do know for a fact is that there's science behind impressions and touch points. And even if you have a business that sucks, people trust you more when they've seen, when they've had those impressions and that awareness over time. And they say, kind of as a rule of thumb, it's a minimum of 7 times that you see a logo or something interacts with you before you're even aware that it exists. So if you don't believe that part of it, like that scientific part of it, then we don't really have a good starting point.
So there's no magic bullet, right? We can't
There.
say, oh, so it's a process, right? And then you've got a lot of things. Now, they say that unlike in the past, when people call you, 75% of them have already made the decision who they're going to buy from. They don't like say it's more marketing than sales. Because the old days, you get a good sales guy and you're done because they're really good at selling. They can find out what you need and close the deal. But today, people doing their own research on the internet, whatever, they're going to make up their mind before they even call you. Is that accurate?
Depends. Again, it depends on the service. In our situation with marketing, yeah, definitely. A lot of times, and it depends how good your marketing is. If you have good videos, if you provide information that answers questions that people have, then absolutely. By the time you get on the phone call, it's just logistics, right? It's just figuring out pricing, timing, when should we start, what makes sense. However, with a general contractor, that's a very intimate, serious relationship. And so they're doing their homework online, but the face-to-face and that in-person meeting or several in-person meetings are just as important, if not more, than the marketing.
Okay, so I find such a question. Jay, tell me about your biggest success and your biggest failure. Client.
Yeah, I'm happy to. They come to mind like this.
Okay.
Our biggest success where I felt like close it down, like we just blew the roof off this place. We closed a lead that I found from LinkedIn outreach. This person didn't know me from Adam, had no clue who I am. I'm cold outreaching them for the very first time. That leads to a conversation carried over to email. They ended up being a massive service provider in Denver, massive umbrella company. We did websites for every single one of their arms, asphalt, window cleaning, paving, striping, $40,000 project. That was so exciting. And my biggest failure is that we took on the top real estate provider here in Santa Barbara, and we just dropped the ball. They were so clear about what they wanted. They wanted highly engaged video content. They had the money, and we just didn't move fast enough. It was a service that we didn't have yet, but we thought this is the top real estate. I mean, Santa Barbara, is an affluent area. We thought
Yeah.
just get the client and we'll create the service. And so I learned a very valuable lesson. Don't BS people.
Right. Don't sell it like they actually can do it, right?
Exactly.
That's a basics. Okay. So what would you say is your ideal client? I mean, you seem to have a softer, more practical, less technical approach, more relationship oriented than a lot of marketing companies I've talked to. So if you're talking to this, who would be your ideal client? People listening to this are going to want to find if they fit into that box.
Yeah. So we help the housing and construction industries, general contractors, the trades, interior designers, real estate agents, and those businesses. We love working with them because I relate to them a lot. You know, any business owner knows that at the end of the day, you're the business, right? It's your personality, it's your style, it's your flair. It all trickles into everything that you do. And what I've realized is I just love practical people. I like being straightforward. I like being candid. I don't like spending money on things that you don't need. I love business owners. I know how hard it is to be a business owner, the heaviness and the weight and the responsibility that you have. And you're spinning a lot of plates at one time. So if I can take one of those plates off, and especially if it's the most frustrating one, which tends to be marketing for a lot of people, I love doing it. I'm good at it. We're creative, but we're practical. And if I can take that off their desk and help them be more successful, then I love it. So we love those industries. We love down to earth, salt of the earth, family people. We're not really into the flair. We're not into ego. It's just like, let's get down to business. And our secret sauce is the execution. Like, it's not all talk. It's just about the consistency and getting it done every month.
Now, there's two schools of thought, and I'd like your opinion. One is be a specialist. You hire a digital marketing company, you hire a sales company, you hire a website company. You're like focused on all these people that are really good at this one little narrow thing they do. The other philosophy is you need to hire like a fractional CMO because they understand the whole picture and what you do and your business and know where to not to spend money, where to spend money, and biggest bang for the buck and the best relationship. So on those two ends of the spectrum, where would you place yourself?
We fit in to the businesses that are a small team and they've outgrown the fractional pieces. Like a lot of times people have, they got their niece doing social media, they got some nephew doing Google ads. Everything's kind of all over the place. And they're, like I said, they're about 5 years old, they're growing, they're have less time. That's when it makes sense to hire us because yes, we're an agency, but we're affordable. So we can come in, we can help you get organized, and we can make sure that it gets done every single month consistently. Then where they go from there, and I totally encourage it, is when they outgrow us is when it's time to bring in a full-time marketing expert and have them in-house. Because that person, once they can afford that, it's going to be at least 70 to 100 plus grand salary a year. Once they can afford that person, then they get the bonus of having that person in-house, focused. They don't have any other client. You're their number one priority. And they're boots on the ground. They're internal. So they're going to be able to accomplish more than we can being kind of outside of the business.
Okay. Now, what you said reasonable. Can you give me an idea of what your rates are and how it works? Can I ask that question? Because I've heard everything, from $250 an hour to $50 an hour. I mean, it's all over the map, right? So, where would you place yours in as far as cost for marketing companies? Because it can be. I've known pump people. Somebody's going to send 100 grand a year. They go, I don't want to talk to this guy, right?
Yeah.
So where do you place your company in that kind of?
Yeah, I've seen it all. I used to work with a company and we had a consultant that doesn't include anything. It's like you want to go get website, photography, content writing, all that things you're paying extra. We paid 10 grand a month for a consultant just to hear this person talk. So I've seen it all. I've seen contracts for $1 million. I'm not exaggerating. Anyways, back to being practical and what we do. Our rates range from 1,500. Most clients are 2,500 a month. We have some on the higher end if they're a more robust company 4,000 is about the highest that we have.
Okay, so you're in the great scheme of marketing people, it seems like that's very reasonable. Because if you're doing 1 million plus, you can probably afford what you do, my guess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, right around, we say 1 million is kind of our minimum for businesses. If you're making less than that, you probably shouldn't be hiring a marketing person yet. But I love our pricing because we fit right where it's less to hire us and you get a full team versus like a part-time marketing person. 30 grand a month, you can maybe get like a kind of new college grad part-time marketing person, but then you got to tell them what to do. They're your
The thing is,
employee.
they don't know what they don't know, and that's scary because this industry is changing so fast. Now, we're kind of one more thing. What I've noticed in this industry, I've been in it for 40 years, is that this is the first time where I think this is a factor of AI, where AI is disrupting a lot of other industries. I mean, if you've seen your new phone, literally it's your new best friend, it can talk to you and have a conversation. So things where you're selling information for money are highly disrupted, whether it's schools, medicine, movie theater. A guy was going to build a big studio for $80 million and said, screw that, it's not worth it. But some things AI will not do in the foreseeable future, which is fix roofs, construction. It can't do that stuff, right? So I see a whole bunch of money I've never seen before doing roll-ups, venture capital coming into this industry. And what I see happening, and it's maybe not that good or bad, or to look at it, called the Walmart syndrome in a way, where you've got somebody who knows how to run a business and they're coming into this business. They know how to market, they know how to recruit. And I have a guy who's opening a roofing company in Nebraska and knows zero about roofing. But he goes, I got 10 million bucks and I can't think of a better thing to do with it than open a roofing company in Nebraska. Because the old guys don't know what the heck they're doing. The young guys don't have any money. I can own that market. I know what I'm doing. And that's coming into the construction industry, which I haven't seen before. So to me, you sort of get on board. I mean, you can't ignore it anymore, I don't think. Have you seen that kind of thing happening where, the prices of advertising going up? Because if a guy who's got a budget of 10,000 a month to spend on Google ads, he's going to kill you.
Yeah, but I absolutely agree with you, Paul. I think that's the trends that we're seeing as well. But the good news is that when it comes to marketing, like if there's business owners that are thinking about investing in marketing, they haven't done it before, there's still a ton of room to stand out from your competitors at this point. Like if you're a general contractor right now and you're thinking, all right, it's time, I got to bite the bullet, I need to level up professionally, I need people to take me more seriously, you're still ahead of the game compared to what most people are doing and compared to other industries. If you're a restaurant, if you're in fashion, if you're in lifestyle, those guys have been spending money on marketing for years, but construction, they haven't been. So there's still a lot of opportunity to use that as a way to stand out from the competition.
I would say that's true. And also, AI can help you in a way because you get more done for less, right?
Mhm.
Because you can use a lot of AI, whether it's helping you write content, putting movies together, that kind of stuff. So it's easier to get more done for less if you've got the right people that know how to use the technology, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And along with AI, or I guess it is part of AI, the technology is getting more and more user friendly too. So, and it's changing so quickly, even in my short time. 5 years is a huge difference. What it took to build a website 5 years ago, and how easy it is for even somebody that's not technologically advanced. Things are getting a lot more user friendly, which is great.
Because it made you say in the old days, it made it cost, 40,000 to build a website. Now it's down to like 3,000 or 4,000. It's changed radically, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, Jade, if people like you and your wonderful smile and say, hey, this person sounds like somebody I want to talk to, how do they get in touch with you? And do you have like any kind of initial consultation or discovery call? How do you work to find new clients?
Yeah, our process, easiest is to go to our website, which is cleverpunchco.com. And there's buttons there to schedule a call. So first step is we can have, 30-minute conversation, learn about your business, what your goals are, what your marketing goals are. And from there, if it seems like we would be a good fit to help, then I can put together what my recommendations are for your business. And that's all complimentary up until that point. So at that point, if we have a Zoom call and I go through what I would recommend, you're essentially getting a marketing plan for free. And
Okay.
I customize, we've learned over the years what works for these businesses, but based on that initial discovery call, I customize those packages. So then if we work together, great. If we don't, you still have some good insights into what, if it were me and this were my business, this is what I would tell you to do. This is what I would spend money on and where I think it could help you the most. And then if you want to hire us, then that's great too.
Right. Well, so I like that idea. So what happens is if you're either not happy with your marketing company or you don't have any marketing, you're a good person to call to get like a courtesy marketing plan for like, this is what you could do. And they can make a decision. It isn't like a mystery. Well, pay me money, I'll show you what to do. You're actually going to show them what you do and how you would do it. It's not like secret. And if they want to use you to do it, that's fine. If they don't, they can do it on their own. Hire somebody else to do it. But I think that's a great approach because they know then what they're getting into. It isn't like any kind of a mystery, right?
No mystery. We like to be very, very clear, very transparent what you're paying for, what it's going to be like to work with us, how long things are going to take. And I'm also very honest, if you're not ready for marketing, I turn people away all the time because I don't want them to spend money if it's not the right time to do it. So if it's too early or for whatever reason it doesn't make sense, I'm happy to give recommendations or resources and point you in the right direction for what you need at the time.
So I say, especially people that are saying, is now time for me to market or not? You'd be a perfect person to talk to make that kind of decision, right?
Yep. More than, like I said, I love helping people and especially business owners.
Cool. Okay. Well, thanks, Jade. I appreciate your time. And I suggest the audience, if you either don't like your marketing company or when we should do marketing on, I think Jade would be the person you should call.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for your great questions too. Appreciate it.